especially with cannabis, I find it's 20-fold. It's multiplied. And so I do think that it does bring people together. And I've seen it. I've seen people being brought together by the magic and the miracle of cannabis. And like I say in many shows, I will always recommend D3, raw food, and cannabis. And we're at 88 minutes. Do you want me to keep going for another hour? I'm not gonna. I have things to do today, man. It's not happening. There's just so much to this. There are so many facets to this. The medical industry, the lumber industry, the clothing industry, so many industries would lose money if hemp/marijuana was legalized or decriminalized and at least taken out of the legal system. So many things would change. I personally see this happening. And then maybe some people think that that's naive and I'm just an optimist, I'm just idealistic, and are you not looking around you or whatever? I see what's happening around us, but I also see the people's demand. The people's demand is very heavy, is very great. And, I believe, maybe I've mentioned it to you on the show before. If you want to kill the snake, stop feeding the snake. Right? Starve the snake. Starve the beast, as they say. And in this sense, the global elite would be the beast. So if you grow your own food, for example, and you stop buying at the supermarkets, or at least stop buying junk food at the supermarkets, that's supply and demand. That's something that if you look at it economically, that's something that businesses want to be a part of. I own my own business. If somebody said to me, you know what? If you made 50,000 barrettes, I'd buy every single one of them. Well, I don't specialize in barrettes. Most of all, we make necklaces. But I am going to say, okay, I'm going to learn how to make 50,000 one-of-a-kind, funky, different, unique barrettes just for you, because that's supply and demand. So if we go into our grocery stores and we buy organic, number one, if most of us buy organic and buy local, that is going to bring down the price of organic and local. The only reason that those things are so expensive is because people don't care enough. And so people are just going and picking up their avocados from Peru and Mexico and not caring about where this comes from, and not growing their own stuff. That's so important. Grow your own stuff. The miracle behind your own garden is amazing. So that's supply and demand. That's simple economics, isn't it? So you go into a grocery store. Let's do the same thing with cannabis. We all have to brainstorm, but we could think of a way. To find a way to bring it in, and it was really interesting. I can't remember what I was watching. I believe it was I believe it was like a CBS or an ABC expose on marijuana, and they went to Portugal. I want to say Portugal or Spain. It's been a while since I've seen this, and people are out in the streets, just sitting around. Smoking cannabis, but they're also doing other stuff too. Smoking crack, like out in the middle of public, and if you look at The Union, the business behind getting high, I'm definitely plugging this film. It's a great film. Most of it takes place, if not all of it, takes place in Vancouver. Vancouver, man. And there are rallies, on I believe probably April 20th. There's like Cannabis Day or Marijuana Day or whatever. So people just like sit out in the middle of public and smoke marijuana. People sell their baked goods. People sell joints. Everyone's high. It's actually really amazing because the cops are there, but they don't do anything. They're just kind of there for the festival. They don't book anybody. They don't arrest anybody. Really amazing. And in the film, the host mentions that there was one person who got arrested, but he was drunk. He was a belligerent, drunk guy. And, they've liked to try to make us believe that if you smoke cannabis, you're going to be the way a drunk person gets, and this is one reason I hate bars. You go to a bar more times, like 9 times out of 10, some douche is going to start some fight with somebody over some stupid bullshit. And you're just going to be like, dude, I just came here to have a few drinks and to dance and hang with my friends. That's what I came here for. But there's always going to be some dick who does something like that. But that's alcohol. That's alcohol for you, And I can tell you too from experience, because it's rare for me to drink alcohol. There was one time a few weeks ago that I felt, you know what, it'd be really great to have some ice wine, because ice wine's really yummy. And now that I'm saying that, great, I'm kind of in the mood for ice wine. But it's got that olive, like green olives meets plum taste, and it's really delicious. So once in a while, we'll get ice wine. Usually like for Yule or for New Year's or something, we'll get like ice wine or whatever. But a couple weeks ago, I had this feeling. I was just like, I want some. So we got some, and I had a couple cookies, and then I drank a bottle of wine. Well, it completely changed the high for me. And where cannabis has this incredible beneficial, what I find is that cannabis really makes you feel present. You are right there. No time exists except for right now. And I think that's so important, because so many of us live in the past and so many of us live in the future. And so few of us live in the now, because we're taught, we're propagated to live in the future. Think about your future. It's a constant slogan in our society. So, I find that cannabis really puts you right here. All of a sudden, you realize that you are a dot on a map, and you know exactly where you are on that map. You are very, very conscious of everything. Alcohol, on the other hand, does something completely different. Makes you disappear. And I definitely see that people will drown their sorrows in alcohol, because I found myself with alcohol, I do disappear. I escape. It is an escaping mechanism. Cannabis, on the other hand, totally isn't, because what's interesting is some of my stuff, some of my past stuff that's awful, whatever else, anything that hurts me or whatever, sometimes it comes to the forefront. And it's okay. That's the difference. I'm not explaining it perfect, but it will come to the forefront, but the way that you deal with it is very different. Where maybe in your sober day-to-day life, if you think about, oh my God, someone was really mean to me, and it really pisses you off, or it really depresses you, or it really confuses you, or whatever else. And it can bother you for days, for weeks, for months, for years, right? With cannabis, when these thoughts come up, you recognize them, you're conscious of them, you do feel the feelings that are associated with it, but it isn't the end of the world, and you also handle it better. You realize that this too shall pass, like that great saying. That being said, we're at 96 minutes. I'm for any of you who are like, oh my God, Holly, shut up, this is really long. I'm sorry that it's so long. For any of you who are enjoying it, awesome. Thank you for sticking with me in this episode, because I probably haven't even covered a tenth of what's possible for me to cover. If you can do this, buy the book or check out your local library or whatever else. Look for Jack Herer's The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and Herer is Herer. Also the film, The Union, The Business Behind Getting High, and the film that I talked about a lot tonight with the healthful benefits, which is at marijuanamovie.org, and it's called Medicinal Cannabis, or Medical Cannabis. Medicinal Cannabis and its Impact on Human Health. Really excellent. Beyond excellent. So especially if you watch that one, Medicinal Cannabis, blah, 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 you'll hear a lot of the stuff that I talked about today. But you'll get a rounder perspective, because it's doctors talking about it, and guys who've done the studies and everything. I'm just the messenger in that sense. Telling you about my experiences, okay, that's different. But relaying this information, I'm just the messenger for this, to get you connected to this information. Before I want to go, I want to tell you how awesome you are. Because it's really, really important. And actually, I want to read to you something that it's on my it's on my Facebook profile. And if you want to find me on Facebook, it's just Holly Lindin, Lindin. But it's something that I wrote where it says the about you information. And I said, let's not talk about me. Okay, so this is me saying this to you now because it's really important for me to say this to you. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. You are a divine sovereign being. You are beautiful and perfect. Everything you've decided or not decided, as the case may be, has brought you here to this moment. Embrace it, for you are perfect creation. You are a God. You can create anything you will and desire. You are a sentient being with a good heart, a good mind, a good soul, and a good body. There is nothing wrong with you, but everything is right with you. You live in a world where things seem chaotic, where things may scare you or make you angry or pull you down into depression. Embrace these feelings, yet realize that all you see occurring are of your responsibility, but are also an illusion. This world wouldn't be the same without you. I wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you, my lovely friend, for sharing this journey with me. We will weather this chaos and come out unscathed, for we are the light and the way. I love you, and nothing you ever say or do could change that. I am you, and you are me, and we will walk this road together for all eternity. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. It's crazy hot here, so I need to find a way to cool down because it is almost unbearable. And recording the show, I can't put a fan on because that's all you guys would hear if there was a fan on in here. And the window's shut and the door is shut and the lights on, the overhead lights on. So you can just, I'm swimming in my own, I want to say mess, but that just sounds like I pooped myself. I'm swimming in my own sweaty mess right now because of that. So my longest episode ever, and I think you probably understand why. There's so much to this. I don't recommend, if it's something that you still have walls up about because of what has been propagated against you, I don't recommend after hearing this show just going out and token with a bunch of friends. I don't recommend that. Unless it's in your best interest, unless it's something you really, really, really want to do. Now your mind is satiated and you go, you know what, I'm very curious. I'm going to try this out, or I'm going to change my perspective on it or whatever. But please check out the movies that I have talked about. And you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the support. I want to say thank you, before I go, I want to say thank you to Carol and Brooke on the Mists of Avalon. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for listening. And there's someone else also,